the tomb of Emperor Yongzheng of the Qing Dynasty, who ruled China for 13 years. As one of the most controversial emperors in Chinese history, some claim he was decisive, diligent, and hardworking, while others argue that he was cruel and cold-blooded. He died suddenly at the age of 57, and the cause of his death remains a mystery to this day. Rumors say that an assassin killed him and took his head. Therefore, inside his grave was a headless body. And this is the story of Emperor Yongzheng and his tomb. In Yixian County, Hebei Province, China, at the foot of these mountains lie the mausoleums of 4 Qing Dynasty emperors, with Yongzheng being the first among them. The Qing Dynasty ruled China from 1644 to 1911, with a total of 12 emperors, Yongzheng being the 5th. His father, the Kangxi Emperor, reigned for 61 years and was a very capable and accomplished emperor. However, in the later years of his rule, government officials became extremely corrupt, and the national treasury suffered a severe deficit. When the Kangxi Emperor died in 1722, he left his successor a complete mess. Yingzhen, the 4th son of Emperor Kangxi, then succeeded to the throne, adopting the reign title Yongzheng. He was 44 years old that year, and having dealt with government affairs for a long time, he was aware of the problems and drawbacks involved. He immediately introduced measures to combat corruption, appointed capable officials, reformed the tax system, and reduced the burden on the people. In the 4th year of his reign, when he was 48 years old, Emperor Yongzheng began searching for an auspicious burial site. According to the Chinese tradition of burying sons and fathers in the same area, he should have sought a site near the mausoleums of his grandfather, Emperor Shunzhi, and his father, Emperor Kangxi. But he did not do that. Instead, he chose Yixian County, 300 kilometers away, as his burial site. Emperor Yongzheng himself explained that Yixian County had better terrain and scenery, but many people don't buy it. A popular rumor is that Emperor Yongzheng was not Emperor Kangxi's designated successor. He forged the edict to become emperor, and some even believe that he poisoned his own father, the Kangxi Emperor. Therefore, unable to face his father after death, he chose to stay away from the tomb of Emperor Kangxi. Which one is the real reason, though? I'm afraid it's a question only Emperor Yongzheng himself could answer. Emperor Yongzheng certainly did not show mercy to his brothers, especially those who might pose a threat to his throne. They didn't end up very well. Yongzheng imprisoned most of them until their death. Emperor Yongzheng sent spies to monitor the behavior of government officials, so that they dared not speak recklessly even in private, let alone speak ill of the government or the emperor. He also established a small cabinet, composed of several top-ranking officials to assist the emperor in decision-making. Since then, decisions on major national affairs have been made almost entirely by this small circle, weakening the power of other government departments. And this small circle answered only to the emperor, which made Yongzheng one of the most powerful emperors in Chinese history. Emperor Yongzheng was very energetic. In addition to meeting with officials to discuss state affairs during the day, he would also review the documents submitted by officials at night. We can still see those documents today. These red characters are Emperor Yongzheng's instructions. Experts estimate that he read and processed dozens of documents every day. On August 21, 1735, the 57-year-old Yongzheng Emperor suddenly fell ill. His condition worsened the next day, and he died at midnight. According to official records, Emperor Yongzheng appears to have died of natural causes, but they didn't provide any specific details. Some believe that he died of heavy metal poisoning. Emperor Yongzheng was a believer in Taoism, an indigenous Chinese religion whose ultimate goal is to achieve immortality. Taoist priests refined minerals, which often contain heavy metals, to create elixirs that could potentially grant immortality. Emperor Yongzheng may have died from poisoning due to long-term consumption of those elixirs. Meanwhile, there is another widely circulated and famous rumor about the cause of Emperor Yongzheng's death. In ancient China, authorities would seek out texts and poems that criticized the government, and then persecute the authors to suppress dissent. The Qing Dynasty did not invent this crime against scholars, but they pushed it to the point of abuse. They sometimes even executed the author's entire family just for something they wrote. Rumor goes that in one of those cases, during the reign of Emperor Yongzheng, a little girl somehow miraculously escaped death. She then went to a kung fu master to learn some of the most lethal skills. Several years later, she came back to avenge her family. One night, she sneaked into the royal palace, killed the Yongzheng emperor, cut off his head, and took it away as a trophy. Qing Dynasty officials were totally shocked by this incident and had to cast a golden head and attach it to Yongzheng's body. And of course, they dare not mention this horrifying event in official records. In China, we call these kinds of rumors wild history, and sometimes they could get really wild. Golden head or not, the only way to find out is to have a look inside his coffin, which is in the tomb chamber under this red wall. In the 1980s, archaeologists discovered through investigation that tomb robbers had attempted to enter Emperor Yongzheng's burial chamber but failed. It means that his tomb has remained undisturbed for nearly 300 years. Therefore, this mystery will continue for some time. The layouts of Qing Dynasty emperors' tombs were basically the same, and Yongzheng's tomb chambers were likely similar to those of Guangxu. The three chambers are in a straight line, with 4 pairs of stone doors, and the coffins are in the rear chamber. Emperor Yongzheng reigned for 13 years, which is not long among Chinese emperors. However, he corrected many of his father, Emperor Kangxi's mistakes, putting the Qing dynasty back on track and leaving a prosperous country for his son, Emperor Qianlong, who ruled for 60 years. When choosing the burial site, Emperor Qianlong faced a difficult situation. Should he be buried alongside his father or his grandfather? Ultimately, he decided to keep company with his grandfather, Emperor Kangxi, rather than his father, Emperor Yongzheng. Therefore, it wasn't until 1820 that this area had its second resident, the Qing Emperor. As a mediocre emperor, he lacked the abilities of his father, Emperor Qianlong, and his grandfather, Emperor Yongzheng. But his mausoleum is in no way inferior, and that is what we will see in the next episode.